Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another build showcase. I am finally back from the dead, and what I mean by that is I'm finally over the flu. And for those of you who have had it recently, or, ever, you definitely can understand how I've been feeling. Alright, so it's nice to be back and finally being able to talk and do commentary, so let's get started with that. Alright, so this build is, as you can see, my intelligence build. It was the one I used in my video, and then I learned, which is no longer up. And a few of you might have realized that. I'm sure a few of you will realize that at some point, probably after I've recorded the commentary, and won't see this one, or whatever. Long story short, I've partnered now with Machinima, and because I used music by Two Steps from Hell in that video, it had to be taken down. So, long story short, I'm going to be remaking it and the And Now I Have Faith video, the montages. I'll be remaking both of those eventually. Yeah. So, anyway, getting started with this build. This is my intelligence build, as I've said before. It has a soul level of 125. It has 37 vitality, 16 attunement, 47 endurance, 24 strength, 14 dexterity, and 50 intelligence. So I can use every single sorcery in the game. I try and make a habit of mixing them up. A little bit later on I actually end up using the repair spell, which I find that very helpful when I'm out of repair powder and need to, well, repair my Moonlight Greatsword after R2 spamming for a little while. I don't know why, but the R2s on that sword, I just can't help but spam them sometimes. It's fun. Even if it's just fooling around, sending them flying off into the air at no particular target, it's entertaining. People somewhat freak out over it when they see the R2s coming, and a lot of people will tend to just completely run away from them, never really running in towards them. That was a good pancake. He got on me with that jumping attack right there. And I really wanted to get him back, but didn't have the luck. So, anyway, probably should talk a little bit about this build, and the reason I put the stats how they are. So, 37 vitality, of course, I want my 1500-ish. I want my 1500-ish health. I like that level, I like staying around there. I'm using the Ring in Favor of Protection to bring up my health some, so it actually is 1513. So, that's that. Other things about the build, the endurance, the reason that is so high is actually so I can fast roll with any weapon up to 10 weight. So 24 strength, that lets me use the Zweihander, which I've used quite a few times in the video already. It lets me use the Server, which I actually have not used in this video. I don't think I end up using it, actually. Yeah, it lets me use a lot of weapons and still be able to fast roll, and that's important because I don't like medium rolling, and I don't feel like slow rolling, fat rolling with this build. And right there, that R2, I wish it would have just sent him flying back a little more than that, but oh well. So that's that. Actually, that giant dad reminded me, I don't know if any of you have been paying attention to Epic Name Bro recently, but he's, I'm assuming, making a giant dad build. For those who are interested in that playthrough, just a little shout out to Epic Name Bro, although I'm sure he doesn't need it. Let's see. Other things about the build. I only am using enchanted weapons. Now, in the video, for those who remember it, there was the very final fight where I was tickling Havel to death. And what I mean by that is he was being a true Havel, the player was being a true Havel, the Rock, and using Great Magic Barrier. Which is great, that's good for him. He was staying true to the cosplay, roleplay thing he was doing. Bad for me, though, because I don't have any backup weapons that are, say, lightning, or fire, or chaos. Now, the reason for that is because that's not the point of the build. One of my friends, Suicide Frog, another uploader, I'm sure I've mentioned him quite a few times, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him now. He gave me some items for this build, and he was saying, do you want one? Do you want a fire, chaos, lightning weapon? I was like, no. And he was saying I'd probably need it. And he was right. It would have been nice if I had it, but that's not the point of the build. the point of the build is to show, even though you're tickling someone to death, the weapons are still viable, for the most part. You know, when you're not tickling someone to death, that is. Anyway, same could happen if someone used Flash Sweat and you're using a fire or chaos weapon. So there's that. Other things about the build, other good things about it, pros. Definitely biggest pro is being able to fast roll with such a wide variety of weapon. A lot of different combinations can be used with this build as far as, you know, weapon combinations are concerned. It's just a very good build for what I wanted to do with it. And of course, I'm using my Moonlight Greatsword quite a bit, just because who doesn't like the Moonlight Greatsword? I mean, honestly, I love the thing. But anyway, cons of the build would be, of course, the lack of weapon variety, although you can always change that. I just chose not to. And that's that. So that was the build, that was the video. If you have any questions, I will answer them, and I'll post a link to the build in the description. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.